What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning back in. This episode, we're going to talk about some noise gates. I got 5 different gates by 3 different brands, and we'll just kind of go over them. They're all incredible, first and foremost. Every one of these gates are phenomenal. I have my personal favorites, just like some of you are going to prefer a different one than I do. So let's get into it in no particular order by any means. So first up, we're going to talk about the Phalanx. And this is by High Wind Amplification. And you have a threshold knob, your on-off switch, and then you have 2 small toggle switches. The top toggle switch is a ground lift. And basically, in the loop, some amps, that may or may not benefit by reducing some of that high-pitched squeal or ground hum. The bottom switch is a sensitivity switch. You got a high sensitivity and a low sensitivity. And it does the opposite of its name. So in the high sensitivity switch position, you're going to get the most frequency coming through. So in the low position, you're going to get a lot more cut out. So if you're really trying to tighten up that signal and get some of that, super tight, this is where it's at. But you're going to have to crank up that threshold knob. So we'll kind of go over that in the video a little bit later. So next up is going to be the Ghoul. Now the Ghoul, I bought this based on Luis Torres's video a couple years ago. And this thing is incredible. Now on the inside of the Ghoul and its brother that replaced it, the Sun Gate, also by GupTech, both of these have an internal switch, and you can set it to range or you can set it to key input. I prefer mine to be to the key input setting. So the guitar will go directly into my gate. And the way I do it is my gate goes out to my pedal board. The pedal board comes out into the gate input, and then the gate output goes into the front of the amp. So it's like a little closed loop doing it that way. So we got both of those. Now the Ghoul has been discontinued, so you can't get this one anymore, which is a bummer. But the Sun, that, like I said, that replaced it is also a phenomenal gate. Now next up, this one is by Elixirum Audio, and that one is the Key and Gate. Another fantastic gate. It's really simple. 2 cable, 3 cable, 4 cable method as well. The inputs are on the side. I do notice that a lot of them. So, all right, on the Ghoul and on the Sun, you have the key input, your gate in, gate out, and then your key out. So through and then a loop. Now on my personal favorite and on the Key and Gate, this is the M-Lac. This is my favorite. They're actually on the side, so it's key in, key out, gate in, and then gate out. So both of those are very similar in that setup as far as how that functions. But this one here, this is my favorite. The M-Lac, when it came out, it wasn't to replace the Sun Gate, but it was another take on a different style circuit or whatever you want to call them. The M-Lac is my favorite. I think it's a little more accurate as far as the tracking goes. It doesn't color your tone. Sometimes gates will kind of color your tone a little bit. It'll suck out some of that high end, and I haven't noticed that issue with the M-Lac. And the M-Lac stands for Military Weaponized Assault Chicken, because anybody who's met one of these Canadian geese know that they are pretty violent. So we're gonna hook them up. I'm gonna use my Victory Kraken, the Super Kraken, and I'm gonna hook them up, and I'm gonna boost them with the Ibanez TS9 that has been modded by Fortin. We'll use, I guess, my Kramer Vanguard. Been playing with it. I know I did my video on my 30-day review with it. So all of that will be captured onto the ISO channel. I'm going to try and do kind of the same riff for all of them. Just kind of some generic noise, really, just to kind of see how well they track, how responsive they are, how the gate sounds when it closes, because these are all kind of very similar setup. The only exception is the Phalanx, and that's because it does have that sensitivity switch. Otherwise, they're all one knob gates, and that's kind of what we're going after. So through the magic of editing, I'm going to go ahead and get everything hooked up. On the first one, we'll throw it up, and we'll just keep rolling from there. We'll see you in a minute. there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is my little shootout across all of them. Make sure you check out all of these companies because, like I said, all of these gates are incredible. Still, I think the M-Lac is a little bit better. It's more transparent sounding. It doesn't take away some of the high end. At least in the room, I can hear a difference. Hopefully, the ISO cab is capturing it pretty good. But overall, I think the Key and Gate is my second personal favorite, and then probably the Sun Gate. And then after that, who knows? The Ghoul is a great one as well. Like I said, it has been discontinued. But GupTech, Elixirum Audio, and High Wind Amplification, definitely check out those guys. They all have incredible pedals on their lineup. So just, check them out. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Were you able to hear a difference? Again, the way I use my gates, the guitar goes into the key input. The key output goes into my tuner, which then goes into my pedal. The pedal output goes into the gate input, and the gate output goes into my amp switcher, and then that goes into, whatever amp I'm using, which is then recorded through the ISO cab, which is mic'd up. Currently, it's mic'd up with two SM57s, and it's currently loaded with a Jensen Raptor 100 and a Jensen Nighthawk 75. Today's amp we used again was the Victory Super Kraken. That also does have a GupTech PDEQ, I think it's called. It's the Presence and Resonance pedal. That is in the effects loop for that amp because it does need it. And then of course, all that goes into my ISO cab, which is then recorded and spit back to you guys here. Anyways, thanks for watching. Again, tell me in the comments below how much of a difference could you tell. Some of them do track a little bit better than others as well. I think the GupTech's M-Lac is the best tracking and the most transparent, and that's what I like about it. The sensitivity level is there perfectly for me. As you can tell, some of them are a little too tight, like the Phalanx, for example. With that sensitivity switch, you got kind of a low and a high, and then you really have to play with that threshold knob. Too much of it, it cuts it out way too much. But depending upon the style of music you're playing or the genre, like the gent guys, they're going to be all over that. That's going to work great for that, especially drop D or the drop tuning stuff, because it's going to cut it out and flub it up, or keep it from flubbing up. So anyways, tell me what you guys think. We'll see you in the next one.